Right. Back for another episode of the Poke Parent Podcast. And today we got James, aka Starman DX. How's it
Hello.
going, my guy?
Doing well. How are you?
I, Dude, it's busy time of year for me. And honestly, I'm just excited to be able to not only get back on stream, but hang out, chat. It's been really, we've had a couple interactions, but really haven't got to fully catch up since Card Party last year. So
No, I
it's
feel like
nice
even
to
then too, we were like just running into each other every once in a while. Like we didn't really get a
playing some
chance to like sit down
basketball.
and talk.
Yeah,
Oh, and,
100.
and basketball. Yeah, that was fun.
I still have the picture of you and Joey on either side of Ryder
Hmm.
for Card Party. Let me get this pulled up here real quick. I just want to check something. Make sure we're all good, and we are. Perfect. All right, my guy. So let's see here. Pull up my list of questions I had that I made up here for us, and then I'll just preface. I already talked to James. Ryder will probably be coming home in the next, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. And I know for sure he's probably going to want to come down here and hang out, at least for a little bit, since he's been gone for a few days. So just preface that. You never know what we're going to get when little man pops in and what questions pops on his mind. So for those who haven't had the chance for the exposure to meet you or anything, give us a rundown on who James is, who Starman is, and how you the channel and everything came about, man.
So yeah, I'm James. I've been doing YouTube since 2020. So before doing YouTube, I did some stuff on Twitch. Like I've been streaming since like 2013.
Okay.
So it's been a long time, but like on and off streaming, nothing ever very serious. I got to a point where I was a serious speedrunner for Super Smash Bros. 64. So that was fun. So I was like a top 3 player in the world at one point.
Dude, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a small community though. So like
Is that through
when I
Twitch,
was,
you said?
hmm
That's
so
awesome.
when I was trying to like figure out what I wanted to do content wise, I was like really into speedrunning at the time, but I wasn't that great at video games. So I picked a smaller community, and I was like, I could probably play this game pretty well. So it was fun. I met a lot of cool people doing that, and then I started a Nintendo meme page, and after a while of doing that, it was pretty successful. But I do like a lot of reposting. Like I don't make my own content when I do that,
Okay.
so I wasn't feeling so fulfilled. So I figured I'd try and either stream or do YouTube. And one of my friends on Instagram was doing just like posting their Pokemon card collection. So I was like, oh, I didn't know that was like a thing that people posted. So then I started finding it on YouTube, and I was like, my life schedule actually works out better to do pre-recorded content rather than live streaming. So I took my hand at it and kind of started a collection, started doing openings and stuff. And I remember one of my first videos, I was going around to like different card stores and like different, what are they called? Like thrift stores looking
Oh
for
yeah.
just Pokemon cards.
Yeah, like flea markets and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So like I was
that's my
just like kind
favorite.
of learning the scene because I hadn't collected since I was a kid. Besides, in like 2016, I believe, I like randomly bought packs. And I was like, this
That's
would be
awesome.
fun to do again. But then I went from being a collection channel to starting to sell cards, and I feel like a lot of my like success, I guess you would say, in terms of algorithm wise, would be from the selling videos.
From the
So I've been
sound.
having a lot of fun doing that. And more recently, it's been a debt free journey using Pokemon cards and vending Pokemon cards, selling online, documenting the journey, and mostly vendor point of view videos. And
Yep.
yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Not gonna lie, I enjoy those videos.
Thank you.
Not just from like somebody who vends and sees somebody else doing it, but then also like some of your little nuances and some of your deals. I really like your conversation that you have with people as they come up and some of the deals you do. It's just fun for me. The one I really, really liked was not, I liked this one, but the one before that where you did, let's have a day in the life of a vendor and just walking through everything. I called it. You want to come say hi to everybody? It's James.
Hello.
Do you remember James? You got a picture with him and Joey at basketball at Card Party?
Yeah,
Hello, how you doing?
good. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Would you like to ask James a question? We just started on the podcast. Do you have any questions you would like to ask him that aren't silly?
I'm kind of in a joking mode right
Why don't you go upstairs and go joke around with Bailey? And when you settle down, you can come down and think of some questions. since you're just kind of on the spot. How about that?
No, hold on.
Okay.
What do you like to do for YouTube?
We were just talking about that.
So what I like to do right now for the algorithm is I like to do Pokemon vending, just like you guys do. But I actually really prefer to do challenge videos, but it's a lot to edit and it's very hard to get the algorithm going on those. So as much as I've had fun doing them, I haven't done one in a little bit.
There you go. Perfect. All right. Let's go.
Anybody else chatting right now?
Not yet. Why don't you go take a shower and get all the sweat off your hair from practice?
Bunny and sign language.
Yep. All right, go. Boom.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later, alligator.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right.
Wild crocodile.
Hey, will you shut the door, please?
Sure.
All right, so I know you touched base a little bit about opening up some random packs in 2016. Did you collect way back when you were a kid and then have a hiatus and start again? Or has, since COVID really been when you started collecting?
Yeah, I collected as a kid. I feel like everyone did at our age. I mean, actually, how old are you? I don't even know.
37.
37. So I'm 30, or
Okay.
I'm about to turn 30. But
Okay.
I feel like we're close enough in age that
Yeah.
like when it was popular, like everyone had cards. I didn't have like a massive collection or anything. But I know I had like a base set Charizard in my collection and like random hollows, random non-hollows. I was really big into playing the Ruby and Sapphire games with my cousin.
Okay.
So when those cards were out, I had a couple of those too, but I didn't have anything like good. I definitely gave my collection away as a kid, and then open packs in 2016, like that I found at 7-Eleven, and
Yep.
then once COVID hit, that's when I was like seriously becoming a collector. Like I don't think in either stint I would call myself like a serious collector, more just like I had cards for fun or like open packs because. And then now it's more of like a
stress relief and enjoyment.
Yeah, exactly. And like like it's cool to have like collecting goals and stuff and like content goals and whatnot.
See, it looks like we got a question from Mooncake. What are your thoughts on Mewtwo being a 280 HP basic?
I actually don't know the meta that well right now. I haven't played since Sword and Shield, so
I don't play a lot of TCG. I tried. Mainly, it's been a time constraint for me.
Mhm.
I usually will play TCG live sometimes just so I can have an understanding of the game. But honestly, I don't have a hot take on that one.
The TCG is a lot of fun. If you ever feel like picking up a TCG, I suggest that one over any other game. It's very beginner friendly, and then you can take it as advanced as you want, but it's a lot of fun to play.
I've gone, especially when Ryder was starting out, we have played, have a great relationship with our guys because that's where we host trade day too. And I have a great relationship with the guy that is the head judge for the Pokemon. It's mainly just having the time. So like this weekend, for example, he's got 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday.
Is it the pre-release?
And it is the pre-release this weekend.
Yeah, because I can't go either, and I love to go.
Yeah, and I've never gone to a pre-release. It's always been a time commitment thing where it's like, if I have the Sunday off to go, it's mainly because I blocked it off for trade day, or it's other things have canceled, like maybe Storm's canceled his games or whatever, and it's like, oh crap, I have so much stuff around the house I need to get caught up on now.
Right.
It's like, oh man. Or, if we have a show, unwinding from the show and getting everything unpacked and everything. So
also it's just prepping the show. Like if it's on a Sunday, I'm usually prepping on Saturday. So
yes. Yeah, we'll get into that one later because that's a hot take I want to touch on with you. All right, so quick fire. Favorite Pokemon, favorite set to collect, and one dream card that you don't have for your PC yet.
Okay. So favorite Pokemon, I'll give you my basic answer and then my based answer.
Okay.
My favorite Pokemon is Charizard, just because of the anime. I'm not like I like use Charizard in the video game too. So like I was just very heavily influenced of like Charizard's so cool. And then my based answer is
dragon.
and I also lore of me, I used to love to draw. So like in my elementary school days, I would just draw dragons all the time.
That's
and
awesome.
not that I would draw Charizard, but like there were they're very heavily influenced by him. And then my based answer is Noctowl. Shining Noctowl is super cool. At Card Party, actually, I recorded a video that I never put out because of time restraint, and I started selling cards, and I was like, I need to focus on selling cards. I can't like make this fun challenge video that I put together. But afterwards, after I like finished filming, I treated myself to a Shining Noctowl. So that was like one card that I wanted in my collection that now I have. But one set. Oh, yeah. Okay. So a set that I like to collect. Wow, that's a good one. I feel like I really wanted to collect the new set coming out. Funny enough, because I haven't done much collecting on my own. So like the Team Rocket set.
Yep.
I haven't done too much collecting because I focused all of my Pokemon time into sales, and right now I'm in the background collecting all of the Shining Pokemon. So I guess like the Shining Charizard would be the one card that I would want. But I'm not like collecting a set. Like I'm collecting the Shinings. So I've collected about half of them so far.
I'll take that. That's fine.
And then, yeah, I guess the card that I would want is the Shining Charizard because that's like the grail of the Shining cards.
Yep. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's just go ahead and stay in that kind of, you want to say genre or whatever. What I know in some of your videos, and maybe I can kind of push for you to give it vague so we can push people towards your videos. But what really inspired you to move from collecting into vending and selling your cards? And did you start with your collection or piecing them out, or what? How did you go about your process into vending?
So, I hate that I cannot remember his name. There is somebody that did Pokemon vending before Pokemon vending was a genre.
Okay.
Oh man, I hate that I can't remember his name because I always would just watch his videos. I'm gonna see if I can find it really quick, and if not, then
super popular now.
No, he never really made it too popular. He's like mid-end, like he'll get a couple thousand views per video. Don't get me wrong. But it was like before people like the Bulbasaur and
Coop.
Yeah, and Coop and like Jar Chomp, like before they started popping off, this guy was doing vendor point of views, and I just enjoyed him interacting with people. I am not able to find it. Him and his wife do it. It's really cool. I'll still watch his videos from time to time. I will find it and send it to you. But when I was watching his videos, I was like, okay, there's ways to make money in Pokemon. And obviously, like I had gone to shows, so I was like, people vend, like there's money there. I just had to figure out how to actually do it. And then I started a $10,000 challenge on my channel just to sell cards because I was like, I was looking for a direction for my channel because my collecting videos just weren't really like getting views. And not that it's all about views, but when you're putting out YouTube videos and you're putting out content for like 3 years, you're like maybe trying to find something that's going to click.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me try and sell $10,000 worth of Pokemon cards in like a year. And I was like, it's probably possible. I don't know. So I started with my collection in that, but not my full collection. I just pulled out cards that like I knew I wouldn't care if I got rid of, or like doubles that I had.
Okay.
And then I used it to like reinvest into another set of cards. And then when my son was, when we found out that my son was going to be born, I stopped because I couldn't figure out in my mind if it was responsible to have money in Pokemon cards at all, or just to liquidate and have money for not working as much and taking care of the baby and all that. And after taking a break and vending point of view videos starting to pop up more and more, and like I started consuming, I was like, okay, there like really is money to make here. And when my son was about to be born, I want to say is when I like put it together, or maybe he was just born. I can't remember now, but I put out a video just saying like I'm selling all my Pokemon cards, and I was using it as fuel to get my debt situation taken care of because I've just accumulated student loan debt. I have a mortgage. I've accumulated credit card debt from being stupid. I have a car loan. And I was like, I need another income. I don't want to get a second job. And I also don't want to quit YouTube. And it was my way to keep making videos and keep talking to people like you, people like Gonzo, people like the Critical Hit podcast, Deep Pocket Monster. Like, I was like, I want to be involved because I actually really love the people that I met in the community. So how can I stay here without getting a job. And that became my job. Was I turned it into a business. And I honestly, I wouldn't even say that I make a crazy amount of money doing this stuff, especially because like I've been still like building the business.
Yep.
But I've made enough to like tackle a good amount of debt. And I someone commented the other day and said, why do you still have Pokemon cards if you have debt? And I just did the numbers because I was curious. And so far I have made more of a profit than my original collection was worth, like to date.
Yeah.
So that is why I kept my cards, to keep making money, so I could like slowly tackle this thing and keep growing, and keep talking to people.
It's crazy. And I want to talk to you about your strategy, because it was in, once again, I'll come back to, I think it was in your day in the life of point of view video. How did you get to the strategy of when you were going to pay yourself? Like, did you want to hit a certain number of sales first? Or making so much money per show before you did it? Or when did you start? Because that's one I've still struggled with. Because for me, it was whenever we make money, I want to take that money to invest back in, to grow the inventory, to make more money. But I've never really paid myself. Now, I've taken money from sales to buy. Like I bought my fiance a watch for Christmas or for her birthday, things like that. But I've never really just like put money to pay us or pay me. I've always kept trying to invest it.
So I, along with looking into vendor point of view videos and looking into becoming debt free, I watch a lot of finance YouTube and stuff. So I've just kind of stumbled upon like business YouTube, and I wouldn't say that I'm a professional by any means. But I was just looking at like, if you're a sole proprietor of a business, how should you pay yourself out? What's like a fair amount to pay yourself? Because I pay myself out as in necessity. Like I treat my debt as a necessity, like has to get paid off.
Okay.
So I started paying myself out right away. But what I did was, to keep a healthy growth, is I have a spreadsheet that I track all my sales in, and it does the net profit for me automatically. Like it does the math. And I'll pay myself out a third of what my net profit is. So that way, 2/3 of what I've profited go back into the business, and 1/3 goes to me to pay off debt.
So do you inventory every single card?
No, anything under $5, I lump in as bulk. And I know that I get my bulk cards. So say I get a $4 card, I most likely paid $2 for it. So I will just adjust each side, and my net profit will adjust.
I was going to say, because I was going through, I had created a spreadsheet and was doing the same thing. But man, inventory sometimes just cycles so quickly. It was like another one of those, like, time.
Yeah.
And going through everything, on top of the 9 to 5 and everything else. That was a struggle for me, was to keep in the inventory progress and pricing progress. Thanks for coming in, One Beer.
Legend.
Gonzo says
Hello,
he loves
Ian.
you.
Oh, I love Gonzo too.
He's a good guy. I like Gonzo. I can't wait to see him at card party.
Oh, yeah.
That's been a struggle with our springs being so busy, which is weird, because I stepped down from coaching. This was year 19. I'm still helping out a little bit. But yeah, I think it's year 19. Year 19 of coaching. And I'm busier now than when I was coaching. I've just taken that up and filled it up with
other stuff.
With writer's time, with jiu-jitsu, soccer, with work. And it's like, maybe I want to go back to coaching, because I can eliminate some things here, I think. So
it's definitely a thing that because this is something that I struggle with too. I'm into so many different like hobbies that it's impossible to stretch yourself out enough. So if you want to focus on something, it's better to just eliminate those things and get back to them another time when you can focus on them, or like find a minimal amount of time, like figure out how to time management yourself enough. Like Pokemon now takes up like a good amount of my free time, but like so does my family. So like balancing that out is more of my tough stuff, where like I love to play basketball. That is one of my favorite things in the world to do. I haven't played basketball in probably 4 months because right now my gym schedule works out where I work out every morning before work, most mornings, not every morning. And I play baseball now. So like my baseball season just started on Sunday. but I needed to sacrifice my afternoons because if I go and play basketball, I don't see my son if I do it after work.
That's awesome. So how many days a week do you have baseball?
So it's typically just on Sundays, but actually next
Okay.
week I have 2 days. So I have Sunday and
Okay.
Tuesday.
Practice and game? Or just
No
games?
practice. We just play games.
There you go.
It's think of a beer league without the beer. Like we're not like a bunch of
We
drunk
used to do
people,
church
but at the
league
same time, we don't
softball.
take it that serious.
Yeah, we used to do church league softball, and it was kind of the same thing. We'd have like maybe one day where we'd get together just to have some sort of chemistry.
Right.
So staying on the topic of before, what was your first vending experience like for you?
So
what were
my
some things
first
that stood out, and what were some things that you took away to like, hey, I need to improve this?
So my first vending experience, I have actually some video of it, but I never posted the video. So that was when I went to go do the $10,000 challenge video. I had bought a collection, plus I had some of my collection that I was going to sell,
Okay.
and I walked in with about $2,000 to $3,000 worth of cards. I thought it was a pretty modest start, but like I didn't know any better. Like I didn't know if it was good or bad.
Yep.
And when I went there, I like bought my display case because I knew it was important just to have like protection and like a good display. I had binders, and then I set up my video camera like behind me because I just didn't really understand angles. And like I said, vendor point of views like weren't that popular yet. So
Yep.
like I had only seen one person really doing it. So I was like, oh, let me just try this and see if it works. Cause like I split a third of a table, like me and 2 people split 2 tables. So like
Yep.
I basically just had a third to work with. So I like couldn't put my camera down properly. I had like a not so great mic, and I remember selling almost all of my stuff, which was awesome. But I went out of it realizing that even though I came out with money and I know that I made money, my margins were kind of bad. And it was on both ends of selling and buying, because there were people that were buying from me that were buying at like 85%. Right now, my rule is I don't really go under 90% unless it's something that like I really want to get rid of. Otherwise, I'm never afraid to keep something because I vend every month. So like it's
Yep.
okay if a card sits there.
Yep.
Someone will eventually want it. But people were not like taking advantage of me, but I was like 85% sounds good because I have room. But the person that I paid for the collection, I paid him at like 60%. And now I don't really buy anything under 70. If I'm not going to make you an offer at 70%, like it's not worth me buying the cards from you because you can maybe get a better deal somewhere else. So I learned to be like stricter about my numbers, and my profit margins are about the same. Like I still sit in that 20 to 30% range, sometimes like 10 to 15 if it's like a card that I'm just trying to move. But I learned that I can get better cards in if I'm paying people out more fairly, and I can make more of my money back if I stick to the market price.
I like that, and I saw you a couple times in your last video. Like, you kind of hit that home. Kind of backing up what you're saying is there was somebody who wanted one card, and you were like, well, if it's just one, I'm going to stick to market. But if you want to buy more, then I'll have a little bit of flexibility. And I like that. That's kind of pretty much how I do for the most times. I guess depending on the card, depending on how the market is, if the market's changed in the couple days since I had priced, because I'll still look it up if I know I haven't priced it in a minute, just to make sure I do have some room there. So yeah, I like that, man. Do you have a strategy when it comes to how you source your inventory? Is it buying collections at shows, buying off people there? Is it through products that you open to get some of your inventory, or how do you go about sourcing your stuff?
So I have done a mix of everything. If I'm going to open something now, I typically will keep the card unless it's a card that like I have already, so I don't need. My collection is very small. I downsized to mostly stuff that people have like gifted me. And now what happens is every once in a while, I'll just open a product with my wife and I'm like, why am I going to get rid of these cards? Like maybe if the time's right and like I really don't enjoy the card, I'll just like throw it in a binder. But I've kept really mostly everything. And then I go into every show knowing what I'm going to pay myself out. So in that last video that you were talking about, like the day in the life, I knew that I was paying myself out $600. I typically will pay myself out between like $600 and $1,000. Sometimes it's more.
Regardless of sales, or
No, that's just
that's
about
your
what
third?
my profit ends up being.
Okay.
It's like usually in that range. Like it's typically like a 700 or 800. But
Okay.
sometimes it's more. Like last month, my wife had missed 2 weeks of work, so I needed to make up some income, so I took some more out.
Okay.
So like if I need to supplement some income, like it is what it is. I
Yeah.
kind of have to
Yeah.
just take the L. And I knew I had to pay myself at 600. So I navigate that where if a card comes my way that I think I would buy, and that's how I buy everything. If I would buy it myself, if I saw it at a table and thought it was cool, like I'm gonna pick it up. I'll buy it at like the 70 to 80% margin.
Awesome. Let's see here.
Oh wait, and then sorry, I
No,
realized
you're
I
okay.
missed half of that. I'll buy a collection if I come out of a show with a lot of money and I find a good deal online. But otherwise, like not many collections come my way at shows. One time it did.
Really?
One time, yeah. Most of the time, like people will come with like a stack of stuff, and like
Okay.
I'll look through it, and like it'll maybe be like 20 cards. One time someone came with a binder, and I remember I paid. I think I paid like 1,200 for it, and it was worth like 15 after I like had priced everything out.
Okay.
But I don't like doing it at shows because I'd rather take the time to look through it or like at least have a list handy, and not many people do. So like if I come out of a show with a couple $1,000s, like I've bought collections on like Twitter or Instagram if I need to.
There was I've bought a few. Obviously, people bring in cards, wanting to trade them or sell, but had a guy who brought in the remaining parts of his collection. One was of that collection. One was a legendary reverse hollow Venusaur, which was really nice. And then with my buddies, Travis and Brittany, they're the ones that helped us kind of mentor us into the vending side. They where were we? I think we were still in Ohio. I think we were in Ohio. This guy brought a binder that was probably $20,000 in value.
Mm.
And it was like there was a base set 2 Zard, there was 2 e-reader Raichus, which I bought those and I sold them. And that was one of those where like a lot of the e-readers would have been right in the middle of like when I wasn't collecting anymore. And a lot of those, that range of cards that I'm very ignorant to. I don't know much about them, but I loved them. And I was like, okay, I could keep these, or do I sell them to reinvest into what we're trying to do? So I put them in the case, and I was, if somebody offers me something, I'll move them. It wasn't even a week later. At the next show, they were gone.
Yep.
But that was probably one of the neatest binders. And actually, Travis ended up, him and one of our other buddies, Anthony, they had bought a handful out of that binder that day, and then had met that guy like 2 or 3 days later again to buy the rest of it.
Oh, that's sick.
So it was pretty neat. It was one of those where it's like, my goal is I wish I could have enough liquidity on me to do that at a show. Like,
And that's
even
the
if it's
thing
half that binder.
I typically don't have that kind of money to spend. So maybe that's why I don't see as many collections. Like I typically have to buy piece by piece because like I only have money coming in and going out at a certain rate.
Yep.
But like if I could expand myself to have more than the product that I have on me right now, I'm sitting with like maybe $16,000 worth of stuff. But if I had like 30, then I would maybe have that much money to spend on
100%.
good collections.
The way that they have taken off in the last year, like it still blows my mind. I've even been a part of it. That's back to what you were saying, how you started, like did the same thing. I had like 2 foot of the table, and he was like, dude, anytime we have a show, you and Ryder can throw your binders out there. You can sell your cards. Just make sure that they're stickered and we know. They went from, kind of like you're talking about $3,000 or $4,000 worth of inventory to like, I'll bet they probably have 6 figures of inventory now.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's like, he owns a concrete business, and then, he does this on the side, and I watch them, like they'll go out and buy a collection at 11 o'clock at night, and then he has to turn around and be at work at 5 a.m. And I'm like, how do you do that? It's just, It blows my mind sometimes. Um, so through this, obviously we know, trying to get out of debt and pairing your passion of Pokemon in this project. Do you just hope to scale this into something that's more full time, like whether it be full time for YouTube, full time for vending, a combination of both, or you want to keep it as a passion, hobby, hustle that helps have some side cash?
So, I feel like it's a tough question. And only
Absolutely.
because what?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like I go so back and forth. I will say, since I was somewhere in my teens, I couldn't give you an exact age. I have aspired to be a father over everything. So like I have to balance my life where I do shows once a month. The tri-state area that I'm in, so like Connecticut, Jersey, and Long Island, New York City,
Yep.
I could be doing a show every weekend if I so chose, but I would much rather hang out with my family and give myself enough money to get out of debt where I could really fast track this thing and maybe have it done in like half the time, but then I don't see my son grow up as often. And like there's like pros and cons to it, obviously, like
Yep.
financially, but I don't think emotionally like I could ever be happy with myself if like by the time he's 5 years old, I like had scaled this thing up where I couldn't stop. Or like
Do they join you at all at your shows?
he's a little too young. Like he needs naps through the day still.
Yep.
So they've come with me to a show just to walk around. And we only spent like maybe 2 or 3 hours there.
Okay.
But they don't come to like actually vend.
I'd wonder. That was one of my questions. He might be coming back. If you guys partnered together through it at all, or how that worked out for you.
I would say that we are very partnered emotionally, and I get helped out. Obviously, like if I'm pricing cards and doing things, like my son is at the point where he's just starting to walk, so like someone has to be walking around with him like through the house.
Yep.
So I get a lot of help in that way. My wife wants to come to a show with me, but then it means finding childcare and like figuring out the hours that she actually wants to stay there.
Yeah.
I think that it would be a lot of fun, and we just have to like make it happen, but we just haven't made it happen yet. And I've been
Does she
surviving
collect?
doing all this on my own. So
Does she collect as well?
she likes to open cards with me, but she doesn't have a collection of her own.
See, I tricked my fiance. One day she was like, "Oh, that's a cute card," and then I just slowly started, um, getting cards. And I was like, "Man, you got a stack. Now I'm gonna have to get you a binder."
Yeah.
And so now she has a binder in her nightstand. And anytime my son and I, pick a card, we're like, "Oh, I think Bailey would like that," and give it to her.
Mhm.
So,
No, that's a good way to do it. More what we do is I'll like buy an Elite Trainer box. Like, I actually haven't in a while. At one point it was like once a month. I would just like buy a random ETB
yep,
that I would find at my local store, and we would open it. And basically, she'd be like excited if I got excited for a hit because I knew it was like a good card. Or like we opened Journey together.
okay,
I got Pokemon Center ETBs. So I was like, I can afford to open one because selling one is going to actually make the money back on both of them, like
yep,
at retail. So we opened one, and the only card that I wanted out of the set was the Articuno, and we pulled it.
that's
So
awesome.
I was very excited. I was like, this is all I wanted. So stuff like that is like what she enjoys about it. And like when we go to card shows, she'll like point at stuff and be like, I remember that card when I was younger, or this one's really cute, or like she likes the art and whatnot.
Yep,
But not enough to have her own binder or anything right now.
that's where I'm at. I like the art of the cards. That's what really got me turned back to it, because I remember what it was when we were a kid, and then when I took my son to NAICs as a surprise, and I started seeing the cards, I was like, this is so much different than when I was a
Mhm.
kid. And I mean, some of those cards, they're gorgeous. I mean, they really, truly are little pieces of art. So I really enjoy those. What's one lesson of the business side of Pokemon, or that the business side of Pokemon has taught you, that applies to other parts of life or even parenthood?
I would say, wow. What is the word that I'm looking for? I would say the importance of, oh my goodness, I guess good communication. And like I've always been a pretty good communicator, but when you're in front of people all day and they're coming up to your table and you have to make a conversation with like 95% of them, and the only 5% that you don't have a conversation with is because you're eating a sandwich because you got like 5 minutes to spare. I think that being able to like articulate yourself and the importance of the skill of being personable is something that I feel like can translate to everywhere. And I have naturally been able to put myself into positions like in the professional world where I'm like where I'm at in my current job because I'm personable, not because like I'm the most skilled worker in the world, but I take care of a site. I do HVAC, and I take care of like 6 floors by myself. And none of my higher ups really bother me for anything. And day to day, I just talk to my client, do my job, and go home. And it's mostly because I've been able to be personable enough to gain my company's trust and the trust of the company that I am taking care of their equipment for. Then when it comes to Pokemon, like I make friends with all the vendors around me most of the time. And like I wouldn't say that I'm the most extroverted person, but I just know the importance of like putting yourself out there and making friends. And then same thing with people coming to the table. Like there are repeat customers, I guess you call them. But honestly, I like repeat collectors come to me is more like the word that I would prefer to use, because I don't think that I feel like saying customer is like putting yourself above someone. But like I honestly like treat myself as a collector that's like trying to help people collect.
Yep.
So I think that the importance of having the skill of being personable is something that like I would like to make sure my son has while growing up, so that like as much as education is important, it's very important to be able to put yourself in positions of success by being a good conversationalist and able to listen and all of that.
That was one thing that started really helping. I wouldn't necessarily had any struggles, but it was my way of like, he enjoyed it, he got excited, but it was my way of helping him read and slowly like learning how to pronounce stuff. Like, yeah, I would make him sound it out. I'm like, hey, what do you think the name of that Pokemon is? And and started reading the cards and stuff. And that was one thing that really helped kind of help him take off, because he'd get excited. He'd be like, Dad, what's this one? I'm like, you tell me.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he'd start reading it off.
So, yeah, I'm a big lead by example type of person. Like I prefer that method of teaching and learning. So I would love when my son is of age to take him with me, even if it's like when he's of age for a couple hours, and then have my wife take him home so that he can like learn just like how to talk to people and how to interact as much as he can soak in as he's getting older.
That is one thing that I agree with, but it has also bit me in the ass a couple times. Is I'm a firm believer is if you're nervous or scared about something that's making you not want to do it, then you have to do it, because you need to overcome it. So my son, and I think it was kindergarten. Was he kindergarten, first grade? I'm pretty sure it was kindergarten. Did wrestling. He got choked in a wrestling match, and just it freaked him out. And from there on, he didn't like it. So we got him signed up for jiu-jitsu, and then that turned into, hey, Dad, there's an adult class right after, so we could do this together. And I was like, oh, crap. Well, I had just hurt my back deadlifting pretty bad. Like, it was one of those, it was a conversation like, am I going to have surgery or not? So I tried it, and it kept hurting. And then I was scared of getting taken down and hurt. And, man, having to overcome that. Now we're like 2.5 years, 3 years in, and it's been a blast. But it's also one of those, I've had to put my foot in my mouth a couple times. I'm like, all right, if I tell you, you got to do it, then that means I got to do it. That lead by example. Let's see. We do have a question here from Chef. In a perfect scenario, where would you like to see yourself in Pokemon in 5 years?
In 5 years, I really enjoy the content side of collecting, and I don't say that in terms of like I want to be the next PokeRev. Like I don't care to be popular, but I feel like I was put in this world to like help entertain people, help make people laugh, help bring people joy, and I feel like making content can do that. So in a perfect world, I would still be vending, and I would be attending more shows as like a buyer and like someone that can give away packs and like give away cards.
Yes.
And like I want to be in a position where I don't have to do this for money. Like I would never lie and say that I'm not doing what I'm doing for money, but I'm doing it because I was a collector and still consider myself a collector. I just like want to stay in the space. And once I can be less about money, then I can like start giving more stuff away. Like I give stuff away at shows. I'll see a kid and I can't resist giving away an EV card or giving away something. But I can't do it as much as I would like to. Like the way that Coop's Collection does it, I would love to be in that position to be able to do.
100%.
I also have like collecting goals, which when I first started, I was just more infatuated with like opening cards and like finding cool art and just being like, I want to buy that because I think it looks cool. In 5 years, I should have the financial freedom to be like, I want to collect this set, so I'm going to collect this set. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to do.
So I'll piggyback you on that one. That is probably my favorite part of the vending is giving the cards away.
Mhm.
As weird as that sounds, because we're there to make money, right? And you're just giving cards away, but in multiple layers to that as well. So depending on where the show is, if it's the one we're hosting, I have pride in that show because where we hosted is at my son's school. And part of the thing I do with vendors is ask. It's not mandatory. It's not like, hey, that's part of your table fee or anything. I ask if any of them would be willing to donate anything, sealed, individual, whatever it might be, new, old, as long as it's not trashy. And his school does, they have a school store where they can earn points on behavior and then spend those points like money. So like this past show, I went out and I just bought a bunch of slabs that people were trying to get rid of, donated those to the school. We created packs with like full arts and stuff in them, along with commons to give to the school. And got some stuffies or stuffed animals to donate to the school, things like that. And then for when we did the first show in December, we collected not only gifts for the store, but also to give to kids within the school who might not otherwise have a Christmas. And so wrapped those and donated those to give those to boys and girls within the school. So like that's near and dear to my heart. It's the same school system that I went to. And so I really enjoy that. And then watching the kids smile when like you just give them the card. Or there was this girl, speaking of Evie, her dad brought her in. We were the first booth that they had walked to. And, I always ask, hey, who's your favorite Pokemon? She goes, Eevee, and I'm trying to collect all of them. And I gave her, I think I gave her like an Eevee and 3 or 4 evolutions. And then she, her dad was like, hey, do you know where I can go get a binder? Because, she wants to collect. She has a few, but I don't know what kind of binder to get. And I had just opened up some prismatic and I had one of the binders from the binder collection. And I'm like, Eevee's her favorite. She has cards. Here you go. And then she just was so giddy. And those are my favorite parts. Like I like helping people find something for their collection. But just seeing the reaction of the kids, I think is, or anybody, giving away, looking for something like, hey, that's something I can check off my list. And there, you can have it.
Yeah. And I really enjoy seeing like parents get into the hobby with their kids, like parents that don't really understand it, but they're like trying to learn because their kids are into it. And like, that's something that because like I said, I've always wanted to be a dad. So like, I'm very excited for when my son is into literally anything, so I can learn everything about it to like enjoy it with him. So like when I see parents doing that, like, and then they get excited when you're giving their kids stuff. So like, I like seeing that level of it too.
That's awesome. You and I have a lot of the same wavelengths when it comes to parenting, I feel like. How do you approach creating your content as a parent with the limited time? Like, how do you set a time or find that balance between work, parenting, and YouTube?
I don't.
Sleepless nights.
No, that's pretty much what it is. I basically upheld my upheld. I don't know what the word would be. Revamped. I don't know. Rescheduled. I guess rescheduled my life to work within my means. So every weekday, so Monday through Friday, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Okay. I'm at the gym at 5. I work out from 5 until like 5:45. Go to the train. My train ride is about an hour, and it's an hour, and then like I have like 30 minutes of like subway riding. So on that hour train ride, sometimes like I'll do a little bit of editing. I go to work for my 8 hours. Sometimes like on my lunch break, I'll pull out my laptop and start to edit, like, or I'll like start like working through captions, like something easy that I can do. And then on the train ride home, I'll either edit or I'll like at that time I might be like watching TikTok or being stupid.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah, doom scrolling. And then when I get home, sometimes my wife has to bring her work home with her. So sometimes like I'm just solely responsible for my son. Sometimes she wants to go to the gym because like if I'm out at 4:30 in the morning, she can't be out at 4:30 in the morning. So I might be on solo parent duty, or we're all just hanging out. Like we do spend a lot of quality time together, which is awesome. Me and her will like split who's doing dinner. But if I like know that I want to post a video within like the next couple of days, I will be like, hey, can you just take over for a little bit? Because I just want to get a couple hours of editing done so that when my son goes to bed, which is usually around like 7 to 8 o'clock, I'm not like dead tired trying to edit, knowing that I have to be up at 4:30 the next day. So it either becomes sleepless nights or like sometimes I'll get like a burst of motivation where like I want to post a video, say on a Monday. On Friday, I will come home and I'll have a coffee like after dinner. And while I'm watching like Friday Night SmackDown, I'll watch wrestling. I'll be editing a video for like 4 or 5 hours. Before I know it, it's like 1 a.m. And then I'm like, oh, I guess this is how I balance life. Sometimes I just go hard for a night.
It'd be like
but
that
yeah,
sometimes.
I try to stretch it out as much as I can. And then when it comes to like ideas for videos, I've been doing mostly just vendor point of view videos because I'm at the show anyway. So it's like a double win. And it makes the channel profitable because literally any cent that I make on a video, I was making while making money. So like it hurts a bit less to work on a project that you're losing money on, which is what I was doing all before that.
Touche. Well, we're still like, that's one of those things, I've never looked at the metrics because this was strictly just something my son wanted to do and it was fun. Then I looked and we were like 1,000 hours short of that. And I'm like, that is forever long. I don't put enough content out to be able to get there. Like, holy crap. How do you balance the authenticity of what you like the point of view now, the vendor stuff, to match it with the trends and expectations of YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, any of those platforms that you post to? Do you look through the trends or you just try to focus on what you like?
I have always focused on what I've liked. I try to do thumbnails that are similar, and I know that's like a hot topic in Pokemon right now. It's thumbnail stealing.
Yeah, come on,
which I never steal, obviously, but like a lot of things are pretty generic when it comes.
I think there's a difference between stealing and mimicking for the algorithm or the catch or whatever you think.
Yeah, and like inspiration and like just like color balance and stuff like that. Like I play with stuff all the time, and I'm not a YouTube professional at all. Like like at all. Everything I put out is me throwing mud at a wall and hoping it sticks. So
but everybody gathers inspiration from somewhere. So in essence, you're copying something.
Yeah, exactly. And like all I really do is like I look at like everyone who's doing point of view videos and I'm like, this is a thumbnail that I can get, especially because working alone, like I just take a screenshot from my video, like whether it was a part that I posted or clipped out or whatever, like I'm taking my cleanest screenshot and then editing it so it looks clean enough for YouTube to maybe pick up. Where if I had like a team behind me, if I had like a second person, I could stage a thumbnail, and not that like it's staged and faked. I mean, like I can actually have a good quality picture for the thumbnail. So like that and like titles are very inspired by other YouTubers that have made it, because why would you not? If something's broke, not broke, like why try and fix it? And then I really like the educational side of business and Pokemon. So when I came out with my video of the day in the life video, like right now that's sitting at 57 or 58K views. It's my most viewed video. It's doing super well, but I just knew that that type of video could do well. It was just a matter of like, I needed someone to record me and edit. So my wife's cousin is a videographer and editor by trade. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So she offered to do the video for me. So she's done a couple of videos for me, and like she doesn't really charge me, which is awesome. I bought her Starbucks and that was my charge, and I get a professionally edited video, and I'm very, very grateful for her. She's amazing. And I'd love to one day like be contracted with her to work with her more full time. I just can't afford to do that. So for right now, it's hard to do trends. But when it comes to like putting out point of view videos, like my titles and thumbnails are very inspired by other creators. And like the way that I edit too is very inspired by them. But it's all like everything's kind of basic when it comes to Pokemon. So like There's
Yeah.
only so much like further that you can take it.
When I watched that video, I was like, why have I not thought of anything like that? Like, putting the camera in, I struggle, admittedly so, with the editing, the videoing. I would much rather hit go live and go from there. But that also is a struggle of, like, is it going to get caught up on playback? Is there going to be enough people in there to really support the hours or the time in it? What exactly does that look like? So, but our schedule, I struggle with it. Like, I have 3 probably in the queue that I could edit from our other shows. That it's like, when's the time? And maybe that's one I should be taking my laptop with me. Like, Saturday we're gonna have 2 hours in between games, and I could probably edit and stuff there. But then that comes back to that quality time. Like, maybe we'll go out and get lunch, or things like that. So it's always that seesaw of like, where am I going to go?
It's definitely a tough balance, and that's why when I say that, like, I rescheduled my life, like, I don't have like a written down schedule. Actually, there's a point in time where I was in therapy, and one of the things that I was suggested, and like I came to terms with myself, because therapy is about finding yourself and doing things, working things through with you. I had like a set like Google Calendar that, like, every day at certain times it was like, go work out at this time, go work on a video at this time, go whatever. Editing my son was a whole nother level to working the schedule. So like I have a mental schedule in my head of like, I have a target date to post a video on this day, or I have a target of 2 videos per month. So I know like around when I want to post them. And it's just a matter of getting there. So like I'll make mental notes through the week of like, okay, Monday, Tuesday, I have time to edit. And say Monday gets taken away because someone's sick, or we just get busy, or have to go grocery shopping and I forgot. Then it goes, okay, well, that thing that I had planned Wednesday isn't as important. So now I got to prioritize editing over that. Or eventually it gets to the point where it's like, okay, I'm going to stay up a little bit later tonight and I'll edit, or like I'll find time between like working and stuff. So it's like a constant mental schedule that constantly gets revised is like how I fit it in.
I like that. Looks like Chef has another question for us. Is there any live selling, auctions, rip and ships, etc., in your future plans versus vending shows, or is that not a lane of Pokemon that you would like to engage in? And you don't have to apologize, Chef. You're good. We appreciate the questions, man.
Yeah, no, thank you for the question. I do really appreciate it. I don't really like any of the websites that you can rip and ship on. You can on YouTube through your own means and like use PayPal, build your own website. Like there are definitely people that are very successful at that. There's Pocket Packs that I know who's been doing that for a while now.
Joey.
Yeah, exactly. So like there's avenues to do it. When it comes to life schedule, it's like right now, like I said, I get home from work. It's usually around like 4 or 5. I hang out with my son. It's his last week window, and he's in bed by 8. So I get 3 hours to like hang out with him a day. And then after 8 o'clock, like I'm beat from the day. I don't think I have the mental capacity to go boot up a live stream and attempt to do sales, especially on something that like I don't know would be fail or a success. I would rather put myself into a position where like I do a show on a Saturday and I know a bunch of people are going to go there. And I also don't have the space. So my office, because I have a 2-bedroom co-op, became my son's room. So I don't have an office. Right now I'm sitting literally at my wife's makeup desk with my laptop in front of me. So everything just has become makeshift. Maybe when I get into a house, I can dabble into it. And I'd like to be in a house in the next like 2-3 years. But for right now, it's so out of the picture that like I'm not even thinking about it.
Is that the next goals after the debt free is to save for the house through vending?
So actually, right now, and this is the weird part about my life situation, I have enough equity in my home that if I were to sell it, I could clear out all my debt. But I then in turn wouldn't have the money for a down payment of a house quite yet. So I'm like in this weird in between where I could clear all my debt and take away all the risk, but then like I'd have to go live at my in-laws house and hope they take me in. like there's a fine line to walk. So as the way that I've thought about my business and the way that I think about my personal finances is in terms of equity rather than money. So every time I take down debt, I create more equity in my home so that the one day when I do sell, I'll have the down payment for my house. So that's why like the goal is within the next 2 to 3 years, I should be very close to debt free outside of my mortgage, and then we'll be in a position to go and buy a house. So that is the target right now.
I love it. Let's see here. Okay. You probably got a few years for this, so I guess we'll spin this how you want. How do you envision your son engaging with Pokemon as they grow? Are you going to involve them in any content creation, collecting, playing? What do you envision that looking like for you guys through this, if at all?
So I'm the type to live vicariously through my son, so I'm going to force him to do everything that I want him to do. I didn't make it to the MLB, so he will do that while Pokemon vending, while also being a millionaire. No, like I said, I want to be in his passions more than I want him to be in mine. So
100%.
I want to give him every opportunity to try everything. So like he's going to play every sport. Like that is just a standard. He's going to try it, but if he doesn't like it, it's okay. If he wants to like Pokemon at any point, cool. Like let's do it together. Like I will show you and teach you as much as I feel like you have the capacity to learn, and as much as you do have the capacity to learn at any stage of life. Like I don't have a business background at all, but I've been learning about the business. So one day, if he gets curious about business, I now have some experience to teach him about at least like margins and numbers. Like I'm not creating a product, but there's plenty of skills that we're learning through doing vending that can translate to anything like that. So I have a baby binder actually for him. I haven't put the cards into the binder, but I have like a stack of cards that I have to put in there. So when he's of age and he's into Pokemon, I can hand it to him and go, here's your collection. Like this is your start. Now let's go to shows together and we'll work on like, I want to teach him also the value of $1. So like, I don't want him to have to like go rake the leaves for $20, but I want him to go to a show and have money and learn how to budget himself. Like here's $20. You're going to learn how to spend $20 responsibly, like through trial and error.
My son still has struggled with that one. Even through raising money through lemonade stand and selling Pokemon stuff. He doesn't understand the investing side, or not necessarily the investing, but the inventory side of it. Hey, I sold cards. Well, now I got money. I can go buy this Nerf gun I want. Well, yeah, but what are you going to do for you to make more money? So the rule of thumb I've always had for him for making money is whatever you make, you have to save half. The other half you can spend.
Yeah, and I think that like is a good thing to do. And like, I also don't like, I'm not the type of person that wants to be a parent that like doesn't give him money. Like I want to supplement what he likes. So like, say I give him, for example, like he wants to start doing card shows with me, and I say, here's a budget of $100. Like I'll give it to you. You're going to buy the cards that you want to sell, and then do the same thing, like a 50-50 split. And now that you earn some money, go spend it however you want. Like you're a kid, like do your thing. But let's also learn how to save and like put it into a bank or something. And then the next show, be like, here's another $100 worth of stuff, and like kind of feed off of that. And like, I don't know, there's obviously like going to be ways to do it in a trial error on my end because I've never done it.
It's like everything else, we're all learning.
Yeah, exactly. And like maybe he doesn't care about that part of it at all and just wants to collect. Like let's collect. Like I'll open cards with you all day, as long as we have the means to do so. But like 100%. Let's collect together. Let's do anything. Like I'm excited for all of it.
You had kind of talked about opening up cards with your wife and stuff earlier, and that's where, like, as far as my personal collection now is, any cards I open with my son, I don't sell.
Yeah,
because there's a memory tied to it. Unless it's one that he's like, well, Dad, can I put these in the binder to sell or something like that? I'll let him make those decisions. But if it's like a hit, nah. Like we pulled this. I don't know if it's gonna be a pull. I think it's Blaziken.
Oh, that's a Blaziken, right?
Yeah,
that's like one of my favorite arts from the set. And
I hadn't seen it until we pulled it, and I was like, well, that's not going anywhere.
Yep.
That's going right into our, I actually put it in my Rock Sandy, the card prison binder. This is where I put all of our PC stuff that I know I don't ever want to get rid of.
Right.
What does, this is going to kind of range across all genres. What does success look like for you? Not just in the hobby, not just as a creator and a vendor, but as a father.
I think that success, I mean, right now, my brain is it's not like one-sided, but like when I have an idea in my head, it's like I'm like constantly thinking of how to execute it the best way possible, like whether it's the right way or the wrong way, like taking risks, whatever. Right now, my idea of being a successful father is having the financial freedom to be able to do the things that he wants to do, and to be able to teach him how to like handle life with like grace and humility and strength. And like, I'm not the type of person that is like, you need to be a masculine man, whatever. But I want to teach you how to be a responsible person and a I'll say man, but like I want you to be responsible and be able to be there for people, be able to be strong in yourself. And like,
Yep.
I wasn't always like, I was like a confident kid in some ways, but then other ways I was very unconfident and I was like bullied a lot. So like, there's so many things that like I wish I was more secure with, that I would love to be able to help him be more secure in who he is. And yeah, success is being able to set him up for his best success. So whether that is in sports, in academics, in life, in love, in like really everything. And right now in my brain, it's like I need to get financially free enough that there's nothing that could hold me back from being in a position to do so.
I love that, man. I like that. So when my son was born, word for word, the first thing I said is, when we find out we're having a son, because everybody in my family had girls, except for one cousin had a boy. And my first words were, I don't want him to grow up to be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially through all the years of coaching, I've seen the way the kids grow and I've seen the way they act. That was my first fear. And then my priority was, especially, through the early years, because they are so foundational, nothing gets prioritized over him and the time with him.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's my day or his mom's day. If he has an event, I'm there. Actually, this past fall was the first time I missed a sporting event of his.
Mm-hmm.
It was one game, and it just ate at me. I was sitting there at a cross-country meet coaching my kids while my son's at soccer, and I couldn't be there. And I was like, I love these kids. I love the kids I coach.
Mm-hmm.
Treat them like my own. But, oh, dang, that sucked.
Yeah, but they're not my own.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another thing is like, I don't want to ever be in a position where it's like, sorry, I can't come to your soccer game. I got to work overtime because we need the money. And
Yep.
like, there are definitely people in that position. And right now I'm in that position. So like, I don't
gotta
think
work
that it's
Saturday.
unfair for it to be a situation, but I would like to be in the best position possible to not have to make those choices.
Yep. I was actually having a conversation because we've been waiting all week for his tournament schedule to come out, because we are in a heavy flow of overtime right now at work. I work in life insurance, and we just have a massive influx of applications right now. And so it's just insane. And so my boss was like, can you work Saturday? And I'm like, maybe. He goes, well, I need an answer. I'm like, I can't give you an answer. If he has soccer, depending on the time, I love my job. I've got to go to his game first. And then if I can come back and work, I will come back and work. Or if I can work beforehand, I'll work beforehand.
Right.
But I'm not going to miss the game, especially it's an hour away and he's with me, so I have to take him. Because his mom's out of town. So
yeah. I just did a show, the video that I posted 2 days ago. So I was doing a show in Nassau Coliseum, which is like the biggest show that I've ever done. It was like over 300 vendors, whatever. My son had been sick the week before, so I actually had to like rework my schedule to be there for him, like being sick. And like, I feel like it's a little bit different because it's like a health thing, but like, I'm like, I got to be there. Like, I don't want to not be there. Like, my wife had to work, so I was like, I was watching him in the morning and then going to work at night, and then working like until whatever time at night. So like, I want to be able to work around his schedule more than I care to work around mine.
I like it, man. Here we go. You're using your Futurama eyeball. If you and your son could open one product together 10 years from now, what would it be?
10 years from now.
Would you like to open up something vintage, something of that time frame? What would you like to open?
It'll be stupid. Not too stupid, but it's going to be Darkness Ablaze, and not because it's a good set, but that was the first set that I opened when getting back in. So I feel like it would be cool that when he's like into it, that I'm like, oh, here's an elite trainer box of this. This is what I opened. And
You
then if it
better
was
try and hold on
vintage,
to it now.
well, no, you're not wrong. But yeah, if it was vintage, I'd say base set, just because like base set's cool, like a first edition, like something stupid expensive. But like I don't think I'd ever do it.
That's awesome. Who's one Pokemon creator you'd love to collab with or meet in person, or both, one of each?
I mean, there's definitely like a list. I would
Or top three,
say
whatever works for you.
top 3. I feel like would be easier.
That's fine.
So
Top
as
3 that you'd like to collab with or meet in person.
So I've met a good amount of people at Card Party last year.
Yep.
So, do I spoil something? I might spoil something. I would love to work with PokeRev as a collector, because like I'm gonna think from each like genre of how I like to make content. So like as someone who does openings, I would love to work with PokeRev and just do an opening with him. I think that the energy he brings is amazing. I think he gets a lot of hate for not a lot of justified reasons. I think a lot of people just like enjoy.
I think people
hating.
love to hate for whatever reason. I've never really got that.
Yeah. So like I would love to do an opening with him. I think that for someone who is so big, I feel like he's more genuine than people give him credit for. And I met him at Card Party and did like a little pack battle with him, and it was super cool. I would love to work on the challenge side, Deep Pocket Monsters, because he's just a really cool person. And again, same thing, like genuine,
Talk about so down to earth.
Yeah, and like I've become friendly with his manager and editor, Dan.
Yep.
And
I think he in your area.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
The opportunity is there for something to happen. I just hope that one day it does. And I think it would just be really cool to see the behind the scenes of that, because like I said, 100%. I am really into content creation and business stuff, and his production has got to be super cool to just witness.
Yes.
So I think that he would be really cool. And then I think sharing a table with Coop's collection would be awesome.
100%.
Yeah. So like, he's just so cool. And I feel like I don't know his lore too much, but I feel like he's into sports enough that like I feel like we could have like good conversations. I think it would just be really cool to like be next to him for a day and like talk back and forth about deals and stuff, and like helping him give stuff away, all that.
I watched one. It's maybe been a month ago now, and it was one where his parents showed up, and he just had great banter with the guy next to him and good conversations. And somebody brought him lunch, and the guy goes, "Well, wait, where's mine?" And they just had good conversations. I really liked it. I'm gonna piggyback on that one because I'd
love to hear.
Card Party to me was like it had so many once in a lifetime moments. For me being there, for me as a dad watching Ryder and all the things that he got to do, like I just walked out of there so amazed. Like
I will say, not to cut you off in your story, but watch like from the outside, watching him like interact with people that he watches on YouTube, and like he was like starstruck while they all gave him so much time. I thought it was so cool.
It was, like starstruck, and then at the same time, like there was times for the basketball shot, for example, like in that I'm recording, my phone overheated, and I actually missed the shot. Javi got the shot, and I looked over my phone as it's in the air, and then I looked back, and I was like, "Oh no, I missed the best part." But leading up to that, like Vert, which I don't know if he's still in or not, but Vert and Ryan just sit there and like are talking and take a break, and he just grabs the ball and walks out on the court, and I'm like, buddy, like there's something going on right now. And then like watching his interactions, like he loves Vert. He asks about Vert weekly. You know, if I've talked to him, how he's doing and things like that. He's hoping to talk to him again at East when we head down this year. And one person I would, if we ever had, you know, back to the financial freedom, is I would love to be able to, and that would take time and dedication through YouTube to get to that point, is where we could travel and go see. Like, I have this idea, and it would take a lot of vending and freedom to get there, but I want to fly to California and go to a Rips and Hits trade night with all those guys.
Yep.
Go to Frank and Sons.
Mhm.
I would love to do, speaking about Rev, a behind the scenes like tour with him.
Mhm.
I love Ryan. Like, you want to talk about genuine? Ryan has the bad boy rap, but taking a step back and watching how he interacted with Ryder, and like he got down on his like knee, he got eye level. He genuinely had great interaction, gave him a hug. Like, he was a sweet person with this
Mhm.
bad guy rep. He was awesome.
I feel like
and
he just has like a hard shell to people that he feels he needs to give a hard shell to, and then it comes off as like
he
something that
has the adult content with the drinking and stuff.
yeah.
But like in those moments, like he in just taking a step back, like after and watching all the kids run
Mhm.
up to him, and like he just had this like teddy bear feel. I really appreciate. I have a true appreciation for Ryan, and
No, same.
he's another one. I would love to do a behind the scenes, like Ryan. Let's go through your collection. Let's go through your shop, like those kind of things. Like, obviously, you have to build those connections. That is one aspect I would love to do, is tour people's collections.
Right. Oh yeah,
around
that'd be
the country.
cool.
I think that would be great. And then, obviously, if I could ever like do a challenge video, I'd want to do a challenge video with me and Ryder versus Pat and his son.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that would be so much fun. Or like we've done a couple binder videos, like we did one with Jackalope Plays and stuff. But I think one with Pat, because Ryder loves Pat.
Mhm.
He got to do a couple trades and stuff with him, and the whole card party experience. It was so awesome. And it's gonna be a little bit different take this year, because I don't know how much freedom we're gonna get from the booth.
Yeah, with
To be
vending,
able
I
to
feel
do
like it's
stuff
going to be
this year.
tough.
Yeah. But I also think it's going to give a whole nother perspective and fun to card party as well.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we'll see. But I think if I could do video with Ryan, I would love to go. I was actually looking up, trying to find tickets for California to go to Rips and Hits for the next one, trade day. And then, like you said, something with Pat or Rev, any of those guys. And then I guess from the vending standpoint, I do like Coop. The other one I would like to watch from a business standpoint would be Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
I got to interact with him a little bit at Card Party.
Mhm.
He actually gave me, he had ripped the pack right behind us and gave me a full art Jolteon.
Oh,
He
nice.
was like, "Here, you want this?" I was like, and like I could barely get thanks out, just because I was kind of starstruck, to be honest.
Dude, when we were playing basketball, I was playing with him on my team, and I was like, "This dude looks familiar," but I had no idea who he was. And then I learned afterwards who he was, and I was
It
like,
was
"Oh
him.
my goodness, that's crazy! Like, he's so cool."
Basketball was honestly probably like one of my favorite things from Card Party, because getting down there to mingle with all you guys, and it wasn't like, for me, and I tried to be very conscious of it. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, there's Vert, there's Starman, there's Joey. Like, well, what do I do? It was like, hey, I'm hanging out with the guys. We're playing some basketball.
Yeah, let's just go play.
We're not
football.
We're not YouTubers right now. We're just guys hanging out. Like, and that was fun to me.
Yeah, no, that
It
and
is
like
a Pat
going to dinners with people and like lunches or whatever was like awesome. Just like sitting down with like all the YouTube, like I was sitting down at one point with like Gonzo, Opossum Bud, Metri, my best friend from home. He lives in Florida now, so he was there.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, this is just so cool to just like hang out and chill. Like, we weren't really talking Pokemon, like we were making jokes and stuff, but like it was cool to do that.
And it's one of those where, especially like, it was really our first full year in the hobby. Maybe, I guess you could say year 2, maybe. But 1 year into YouTube and everything, and really first time meeting anybody. It didn't feel, nobody felt like strangers.
Yeah.
And that was like, even meeting Rock, who had just done the face reveal.
Dude, yo, that's so funny. I didn't watch his video because like I was working on a video for that weekend, like I said. So like I was so in the zone that I didn't know he dropped one. And then he eventually just like yelled at me while at the show. And I was like, who is that? And He goes,
Right.
"It's Rock," and I was like, "No way!" Like, that's so
Right.
cool. I forgot that you were coming,
And
or not
I
that I
didn't
forgot you were
even,
coming. I forgot that I would see you, and you're not just a
I didn't
Rock.
even see the face reveal. It was everybody had said he'd done a face reveal, and then I heard somebody say Rock, and I saw him turn around. I'm like, this is not
Yeah.
what I expected whatsoever. I don't know what I expected, but that wasn't it.
Mhm.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, let's see here. We'll kind of wrap things up. I know we're a little bit further than what I thought we'd be, and I don't want to take away from family time. Where can listeners follow your journey and support you with what you're doing?
So I go by Starman DX with no spaces on YouTube. On Instagram, I'm Starman DX _, and on Twitter, I'm like Starman _DX _. I don't use Twitter as much. I was doing a good amount of selling on there. I
was gonna
like
say,
the
I thought you
platform for
were.
selling. So I was, but since I've been vending, honestly, shipping and not just shipping. What happens is if someone wants a card from you and like you, what I would do is I would post all of my cards for sale in like a
Yep.
thread, and you'll get DMs throughout the week of everybody interested in almost every single card, wanting the front and back of every single card up close, wants to make sure it's going to grade a 10. And if it
Yep.
isn't, then they're not interested. So you could spend like an hour or two talking to someone, sending pictures back and forth, taking the pictures, and they're like, "Oh, I don't really want it anyway," or
Yeah,
like,
never mind.
I'm only going to buy it if it's at 80%. And I always tell people, I'm like, please just lead with that. Like, I'll gladly tell you no if it's not going to work, or like I'll tell you my
You
margins
and
that
I
I
have
need
had
to
those
hit.
conversations.
Yeah. So it's like I use it a little bit. I'm pretty active on Instagram. Like I'll post every day, like when I go to the gym, or like I'll post if I open up cards, which
Yeah.
I haven't in a bit. I kind of want to, but I have to actually go and buy cards. Or like if I get a good deal and like there's a card that I think is cool, like I'll post pictures or whatever. And then I post the shows that I'm going to be at. It's usually the Long Island TCG show. But
Okay.
I would love to travel and do some more. So we'll see if that actually happens.
Awesome. Any final advice you would give for fellow Pokey parents out there who are trying to do it all?
I would say to take your time, and I would also say to take the time to maybe, if you feel like everything's just too hectic in your life, and this could be collecting, it could be parenting, it could be work, whatever, take time to write down everything that you have in your life and figure out where it is prioritized. And maybe there's something that's a hobby that you cut out. Like I had mentioned earlier, I'm very into art, and every couple of years I'll like buy markers or buy colored pencils, and like I'll get really into it for like 2 weeks, and then I'm like, this is really distracting from my other stuff, and I'm not even that good at this. I know that I like it, but like I need to prioritize my family and I need to prioritize making money right now. So figuring that out, and then also not being afraid to follow your dreams. Like if you're in a collecting space and you would love to make videos because you think that you could become a really good YouTuber, or just someone that wants to put yourself out there to make more friends in the hobby, maybe people around you don't collect as much, put yourself out there. And also with doing content, it's helped me a lot with talking to people, not being afraid of being in front of a camera. Like I film in
Yeah,
public
that
all the
comfort
time
zone.
now, and it's from experience of just sitting in front of my camera and talking.
Yep. Getting out of the comfort zone.
Exactly. And I think that being in this space and doing content puts you there. And then it also, like, I've had plenty of times where I made a video. It was one of my first videos that wasn't just collecting. I went to a park and I was interviewing people about what they thought of Pokemon, and then I would open cards with them. And I thought it was like this amazing invention of a video. It really wasn't that good. But it was really fun to make. But it made me like, I remember standing there like stiff as a board, like people would walk past and I'm like, I have to go and talk to them. Like, I have to do this. I have to do this. And then eventually I started talking, and it built up to now where every time I go to like a card show, I go and introduce myself to people without even like we make eye contact. I'm going to come over and say hi. And
Yeah.
like, I wasn't like that when I was first starting, and it like really breaks you out of where you might be mentally.
So that it was one question I did skip over. What is your favorite video you've made so far, and what video do you wish more people saw?
So both of those would be the same video.
Okay.
But I will say the one that I made of the day in the life, I've been wanting to execute that video for like a year. Even before vending, I wanted to execute a video like it because I was inspired by another video. The creator is kind of under some hot water, so I'm not going to shout them out. But the video itself was made so well that I was like, I would love to do something like this in the Pokemon space. And then when I got into vending, I'm like, okay, this is my opportunity. And then I reached out to my my wife's cousin who does the editing. like 3 months ago and she was busy. So I was like, now I have to wait for this. So like that's been a long time in the making. So I really enjoyed making it. I'm very happy that it's successful and I appreciate all the support on it. But one that was really the most fun, and I wish more people watched it. And it's still like at 1,000 views or something. I opened up cards for 24 hours straight. Every hour I opened up at least 3 packs, and I stayed up for 24 hours. And I ended with a vintage pack. And I thought that it was such a cool video. Like it was like my first challenge video that was like decently successful. And I just had a lot of fun doing it. So that's the one that I wish.
Was it a live or did you record?
I recorded it, and I just had like timestamps to the video. So like I woke up, had breakfast, opened up cards, went to went to the gym, opened up cards like in the middle or like right after getting off of a basketball game. And then like I went to my friend's house and played video games and opened up cards there. I went to Applebee's with another friend after. And then I stayed up through the night, and like every hour, like I was working on editing the video while filming the video, opening up cards. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. It was my pin video for a while.
I'll have to make sure I look that one up because I don't think I've seen that one.
It was called like I opened up Pokemon cards for 24 hours straight or something like that.
I like that, man.
Thank you.
Well, I won't keep you. Let your wife have some more time back with you. I do appreciate you coming on. This is one I've been looking forward to for a while. Especially one, plastic card party. Two, I appreciate what you do for the hobby, for vending. Definitely been an inspiration for me from the vending side as well. And I love what you're doing as a father. I love watching your posts. I can definitely see that you're proud and that you boast being a dad. I love that. That's near and dear to my heart. I will say, enjoy as much as you can. It's a quick ride. I always thought time went fast until my son was born, and then it went into hyperspeed. And the minute he started running, I've been playing catch up ever since. And the exciting, but also to a degree, sad part. Every stage is a new person that you're raising. So my son now, while he's the same, he's different than what he was when he was your son's age. And so you never get that one back. So enjoy it while you can, man. It's life's best adventure. I will say that.
Thank you. Yeah. And thank you for having me on. I do appreciate your time as well.
Absolutely. We'll definitely have to do it again. Maybe we can vend together one day.
I'd be down.
That'd be good. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for all coming by. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good night, and have a great rest of your week and good weekend.